The year is 1928. In Giza, Egypt, a team of archaeologists, led by Professor Langford, discovered a huge disc and metal ring with hieroglyphs. During the excavation, they also found an artifact of a prehistoric animal, which was surprising. Apart from this, a necklace was found which had the symbol of the Eye of Ra, whom the Egyptians worshipped as the sun god. Professor Langford's daughter Catherine likes it and keeps it for herself. Several more decades pass, and Catherine is now old. She comes to a meeting of scientists, where Professor Daniel Jackson gives a speech on the pyramids and his theory, but no one takes him seriously and makes fun of him. Catherine invites Daniel into her car and offers him a job translating ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Daniel agrees to do the job and arrives at a military base, where he is shown a disc he found years ago. When he sees the translation on the board, he immediately corrects all the mistakes. Just then, Colonel O'Neill arrives there and tells him that from now on, he will take charge. 2 weeks later, Daniel is still trying to decipher the hieroglyphs, and finally sees an image of the Orion Belt on a newspaper, which matches the hieroglyphs on the disc. An emergency meeting is held the next morning, and Daniel tells the officers that the symbols on the disc they thought were words are actually constellations. However, General West does not trust Daniel because he took 2 years to decipher the hieroglyphs, and Daniel did it in just 2 weeks. Daniel says that the constellations would have been placed in an order, indicating a kind of map or location. He tries to explain by drawing a picture that 6 points are needed to find a destination within any 3-dimensional space, and the 7th point is the origin, which he shows by drawing a picture of 2 humans next to a pyramid. Officials say the device only has 6 dots on it, leaving Daniel wondering which device they are talking about. He is then shown the second part of the quest, a ring made of an unknown metal that was found with the disc. At Daniel's behest, the scientists place all the symbols in order, resulting in a portal opening in the center of the ring. Scientists send a rover into the portal to investigate it, so they can find out what's on the other side. Upon investigation, they discover that the rover has stopped at a point in the Kalium galaxy. According to mass, it could be the moon or any big asteroid. But the interesting thing was that the atmosphere of that planet matches that of the Earth. Before the portal closed, they received some pictures sent by the rover, in which a second Stargate was visible, so they believe that these 2 gates are connected. The team begins preparing for the mission, and Catherine gives Daniel her necklace that she got as a child. He believes that this will prove lucky for him. The portal is reactivated, and as the team enters, they are teleported to an unknown planet. When the soldiers go out on the orders of the colonel, they discover that it is a huge pyramid located in the middle of the desert. The planet is dry and deserted, but capable of sustaining life. The colonel orders the soldiers to return home in 1 hour, but Daniel admits that the gate will not work, as he can recognize the symbols but needs the order of alignment. He thought that there would be tablets at the gate, but they were not there, so they need to find the tablets first. The soldiers are angry at Daniel because they believe he trapped everyone here, but the colonel stops them before the matter can go any further. However, when he leaves, the soldiers throw away his suitcase of books, and when Daniel goes to collect his belongings, he sees footprints in the sand. Meanwhile, the colonel is assembling parts of a device, which is a nuclear bomb, which he has secretly brought with him on the orders of General West, so that if there is an alien attack on them, they can be stopped. Daniel, on the other hand, follows the footprints and sees a strange animal. When he approaches it, he realizes that it is a pet animal, although he does not see any humans around. Then the colonel and the soldiers arrive there, due to which the animal gets scared and starts running away. Also, Daniel's leg gets stuck in the rope, and the animal drags him to a small settlement. The colonel goes to them with the team, and Daniel tries to talk to the natives, but he cannot understand their language. The people notice the necklace around Daniel's neck that has the symbol of the Eye of Ra on it, and they all kneel before him. One of the soldiers scans the mineral being mined and discovers that it is the same mineral that the gate is made from. Then the leader of the tribe, Kasuf, arrives there and welcomes them, although they were not able to understand each other's language. He takes them to his city, where everyone bows before a large disc with the Eye of Ra carved on it. Daniel believes that people have mistaken him for a messenger of Ra. Then suddenly a danger siren sounds, and everyone starts running here and there. The colonel gets a call from the camp, but due to a weak signal, the conversation is not possible. The soldiers in the camp are surrounded by a sandstorm, so they take their belongings and run inside the pyramid. The colonel wants to return to the pyramid, but Kasuf prevents him from going out, as there is a sandstorm blowing outside. The colonel is curious to know how they can reach home. Daniel asks Kasuf about a symbol, but he interprets it to mean something else. and he orders Daniel to be taken to a room where he is cleaned and sent to his room with a young girl, Shori. Shori enters the room and starts taking off her clothes, which makes Daniel nervous. He rejects the girl's services, but to avoid disappointing the chieftain, he lets her stay in his room. Daniel makes a mark in the sand, and Shori completes it, leading Daniel to realize that the girl has seen this symbol somewhere before. Meanwhile, in the pyramid, the soldiers were waiting for the storm to subside. Then suddenly, a huge spaceship lands right above the pyramid, causing everything to shake. Seeing this, the soldiers get scared and take up their weapons. However, some unknown creature attacks them and renders everyone unconscious one by one. The unknown thing attacks the last soldier, and when he turns, he sees a supernatural being with the face of Anubis and bright blue eyes. The creature drags him into another room, and then a glowing coffin opens, with a hand emerging from it. Meanwhile, Shuri takes Daniel to a dusty basement, where there are many hieroglyphs on the walls. The colonel contacts the soldiers but gets no response. Then he goes to Daniel, and Daniel tells him that he has understood the real story behind the hieroglyphs after looking at them. He explains that thousands of years ago, an alien fled his dying world because he wanted to extend his life. He came to Earth and found primitive humans who were running away after seeing his ship. But among them was a boy who was so fearless that instead of running away, he went near the ship. The aliens took over his body and appointed themselves rulers. He built the Stargate and brought thousands of people to the planet to work in the mines. He forced humans to mine the mineral on which all their technology is based. However, a few years later, there was a rebellion on Earth, and the Stargate was buried there. To avoid another rebellion here, Ra banned reading and writing so that the people would never know the truth. Then they find a round stone with symbols carved on it. Daniel is excited because this is what he was looking for, but unfortunately, the stone is broken, and one of the symbols is missing. However, the colonel is not interested in these stories. He is only concerned about his team, so he orders everyone to return to the pyramid. Reaching the base, they saw that instead of the pyramid, there is now a pyramid-shaped spaceship. The colonel prepares for the possible danger and goes inside, armed with weapons. The colonel saw that bullets had been fired inside the pyramid, which meant that the soldiers had defended themselves from something. Just then, the ancient creature attacks the soldiers again, but the colonel is only able to save Daniel. He goes near the gate where he placed the bomb, but finds that it is missing. Then suddenly the circular part of the ceiling opens, and 3 guards appear, who escort the colonel and Daniel to the throne room. Then comes Ra, whom the natives consider to be God. On his orders, the bomb that he had brought with him was brought before the colonel. Ra warns that the colonel has tried to destroy his world, so now he will punish him. When they all take off their masks, it is revealed that they are just humans, not gods or supernatural beings. The colonel snatches his weapon from a guard and shoots at him. The second guard was about to kill the colonel, but Daniel intervened and lost his life. Meanwhile, a group of children surrounds Ra to protect him. Retaliating, the guards beat the colonel and made him unconscious. Ra orders him sent to the dungeon, where his other companions are also alive. Raz approaches the dead Daniel and looks at his necklace. He is angry at the natives because they provided shelter to the Earthlings. He sends 2 gliders to eliminate their tribe, which attack the settlement and destroy the city, resulting in the loss of many lives. Kasuf is very sad to see all this. He feels that Ra is angry because they gave shelter to strangers. Meanwhile, Daniel wakes up in a coffin and finds that his wound has healed. He walks through the pyramid and reaches Ra's room. Ra tells Daniel that he was dead, so he chose humans because their bodies are easier to repair. He says that they should not have reopened the gate, because now he will send the bomb back to Earth with a shipment of a special mineral, which will multiply the bomb's destructive power. He created civilization, but now he wants to destroy it for their betrayal and to prove that he is the only god. Meanwhile, Shaori is looking at the hieroglyphs on the walls when her brother Skara arrives and informs Shaori that Ra has called a meeting and they have to go. However, before leaving, Shaori tells her that she knows where our people came from and that we can no longer remain slaves to Ra because Daniel has told her the whole truth. After this, the entire city gathers near the pyramid, some of whom intend to revolt. Ra orders Daniel to kill the colonel and his companions. As Daniel moves forward with weapons, the people of the tribe show their guns, indicating that they are with Daniel. As Daniel approaches the colonel, he suddenly turns and attacks Raz, although Raz survives. Retaliating, the soldiers started firing at people, causing people to run here and there. The Colonel and Daniel manage to hide themselves among the people and escape from there. The Colonel tells his friends that he left the bomb near the gate, but now Roz is going to send it to Earth, which is going to cause a huge disaster. Daniel learns that the people of the tribe consider Daniel to be Shori's husband. Skara draws a victory sign on the wall, which Daniel recognizes as the ultimate symbol, and he tells his friends they can go back home. But first they decide to overthrow Ra's rule and free innocent people in the mines, where they kill a guard, causing Kasif and his men to panic. Daniel unmasks the guard, revealing that he is not God, but merely a human being who has been enslaving them for so many years. As a result, a massive rebellion begins against Ra, but Ra is unaware of it. Ra sees a caravan bringing minerals, and he orders the bomb to be taken to the gate. As soon as the caravan enters the pyramid, firing begins as the Colonel and his team are also hidden in the crowd. Raz feels that he is losing this battle, so he orders the bomb to be sent to Earth. But before they arrive, the Colonel prepares the bomb and sets the timer. He tells Daniel to return to Earth and tells him he will blow up the gate once they leave. Then suddenly a guard appears and shoots Shari, seriously injuring her. Desperate, Daniel picks her up and carries her to Ra's coffin, which immediately heals Shari. Meanwhile, the Colonel was attacked by a guard guarding the portal. On the other hand, Raz approaches Daniel and tries to kill him. There were only 3 minutes left for the explosion, but the guard was not giving up on the Colonel. Eventually, the Colonel activated the gem on the guard's hand, causing a portal ring to come down and decapitate the guard. Daniel sees the portal opening, so he snatches his necklace and jumps into the portal with Shari, leading them to the Colonel and the guard's severed head to Raz. The Colonel sees that there is only 1 minute left for the explosion, so he tries to stop it, but is unable to stop it due to Ra's transformation. Ra sees the chieftain approaching the pyramid with the townspeople. He feels that his truth has been revealed, so he launches his ship. The Colonel and Daniel are watching the timer because they can't stop it. Suddenly, Daniel sees the gem in the guard's hand and gets an idea. They deliver the bomb to Ra's ship via portal lift, causing an explosion in space and killing him. The clan celebrates their victory, and the Colonel bids farewell to the ancient inhabitants and Daniel, as he has decided to remain on this planet with Shari. Before leaving, he gives the necklace to his friend so that he can return it to Catherine.